Coming up on this edition of the Newsfeed, cities and counties around the New River Valley discuss declaring themselves Second Amendment sanctuary communities. Find out more next. Plus, are you struggling to find that perfect Christmas tree? Find out why coming up. These stories and more next on 2019's final edition of the Newsfeed. Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Corey Van Dyke. Since Democrats took control of the Virginia legislature last month, communities around our area have discussed making a rather unique declaration. Henry Scott joins us in the studio with more.
Thanks, Corey. Gun control is on the docket for Virginia's legislature and is creating quite the stir in the Commonwealth. Montgomery County and the surrounding areas are currently debating whether to become Second Amendment sanctuaries. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam announced last month that he plans on introducing several bills to aid with gun control in the Commonwealth.
In terms of sanctuary cities, I think there's a couple of things that Northam is proposing that I don't agree with, but I don't think sanctuaries are the way to go about fixing it or dealing with it, right? So like, you can't just say, I don't want to follow this law so we can, be a sanctuary, right? You should take it through legal routes. So I feel like I agree with what they're trying to do, but not how they're trying to do it.
A petition was started about 3 weeks ago and has amassed almost 1,000 signatures so far. The comments and signatures all have a similar message. It's their constitutional right to bear arms. Christiansburg Town Council member Steve Huppert wrote a letter to the Roanoke Times after the sanctuary city discussions began to pick up steam.
Well, here's why toward I did is some people are worried that a few laws are enacted now, that later on they're going to try to enact more laws and then restrict people's ability to handle guns, and that's what the founding fathers did not want. They wanted to be able to use their own weapons, and I sort of put that out in the little article there towards the end. I thought because I knew that's what was coming.
One of Huppert's main talking points in opposition of Second Amendment sanctuaries is that Blacksburg and the surrounding area experience one of the biggest tragedies when it comes to gun violence. Huppert received both positive and negative feedback from his letter, saying it was the biggest response he's gotten in his 10 years on the town council. This will continue to be an ongoing issue both in the local area and in Virginia. Back to you at the desk.
With bad weather and the 2008 recession finally catching up on the Christmas tree industry, expect trees to be a bit more expensive than usual. The Great Recession drove down consumer demand for trees, which resulted in farmers planting fewer trees. The decrease in tree planting is finally catching up as there are now fewer mature trees than ever. The Federal Census of Agriculture states that Christmas tree production has fallen nearly 30% since 2002. With demand exceeding supply, Christmas tree prices are reaching a new high. Josh Newsom at Idlewood Farms says this trend has been happening over the past couple of years.
Our trees are a higher price than they were last year, and last year they were a higher price than they were the year before. So over the past 2 or 3 years, we've seen the price grow to this year, and now supply is really minimum. Not only is the supply minimum with Idlewood Farms and what we have available for sale, there's way less Christmas tree lots out there. We're really the only full-service Christmas tree lot in Blacksburg.
Newsom recommends getting your tree early as it will be harder and even more expensive to acquire a tree the longer you wait. The holiday season is upon us and many Blacksburg locals are banding together to make sure children do not go hungry this year. Every Thursday night during the school year, volunteers gather at St. Michael's Lutheran Church to fight food insecurity in elementary schools in Blacksburg. Micah's Backpack partners with 10 different schools to provide food for children from low-income families. Bags are packed in an assembly line fashion on Thursdays with 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 2 dinners, snacks, drinks, and an educational piece. They are delivered to the children on Friday mornings. There are currently 280 children in Blacksburg that receive these gifts during the school year, and the organization even provides the service in the summer.
It is a very big deal, and yet a lot of people overlook it. We are making a difference in children's homes on the weekends and adding to the pantry for the family. I hope that we are also working to erase the stigma of charity.
The church says that they can always benefit from more food donations and volunteers, especially during the holidays. They have already provided over 10,000 meals and counting to the children this school year. While a lot of work goes into the organization, the volunteers ask for only one thing in return, that the children know that their community cares for them. A Montgomery County holiday tradition returns for yet another year. Newsfeed reporter Christina Cass has the story.
'Tis the season for good spirits and generosity. For people like volunteer Terry Lynn Howard, Christmas means more than just presents under a tree.
If you've walked around and seen the people, see the joy on their faces, sometimes they just stand there and go, "This is for me?" I said, "Yes."
Run entirely by volunteers, the Montgomery County Christmas Store is a community-wide nonprofit organization which assists low-income families all over Montgomery County.
Last year, we served 1,300 families and about 3,800 individuals, because each family has more than one. This year, we have qualified, I think, under 1,200.
Through these doors, customers are treated to a department-style shopping experience where they're invited to select items from canned goods to clothing for all ages. What started out as a way for families to give back transitioned into a community staple for those unable to afford Christmas gifts and other necessities during the holiday season. Sally Boland, founder and volunteer, says it's all about giving families a Christmas experience.
Our whole idea is Christmas with dignity. We want it to be just as much a shopping experience as if you were going to Walmart or wherever it might be.
A point-based system enables shoppers to pick and choose items while providing a fair and just environment.
And again, that's part of that dignity, because if you're shopping for yourself or your family, you have to make choices.
Through the generosity of donors and volunteers, the Christmas store gives the tradition of gifting and receiving a whole new meaning.
You actually get goosebumps. It's just a happy, joyful place.
Reporting from Blacksburg, I'm Christina Cass.
Virginia Tech's football team will be without one of their more promising offensive linemen going forward. Freshman Will Pritchard announced on his Instagram account last week his decision to retire from the sport. Pritchard was a decorated athlete at Manchester High School who played a major role in the team's 6A Virginia State Championship. The three-time All-State center chose Virginia Tech after receiving offers from 19 schools. Now, Pritchard will be giving up the sport he's been playing for 13 years due to the numerous head injuries he's suffered. Senior engineering student Darren Arachi says that he understands Pritchard's reasoning for retirement.
Yeah, one time I got tackled during football, and pretty sure I remember seeing stars and all. And then when I got up, they asked me some questions, and I don't know, I was just kind of really confused, and I couldn't answer them properly. So then they diagnosed me with a concussion, and after that I was like, I think it's time to stop playing football, so I can really see why that he wanted to stop playing too.
While Pritchard doesn't know what's next for him after football, he said in his retirement post that he's thankful for the people who helped him on his football journey. THC, cannabis, hemp, who would have thought just a decade or two ago these products would become legal in the U.S.? Hemp, once taboo, is now available in many states across the U.S. In March, Virginia legalized commercial hemp sales and production, which has many entrepreneurs quick to rush into the market, similar to the CBD rush. It has attracted many hemp producers and retailers and has quickly spread throughout Southwest Virginia. Despite oversupply, stores are still carrying the product. A number of bars and local head shops in Blacksburg are now offering hemp, and they are mostly supplied throughout local growers in the area.
Seems to be every piece of property that's not being, cultivated, they're throwing hemp in. So I think there's more hemp than people can sell actually right now. And I've had people come in here with big bags, of hemp, and I look at it and say, what am I going to do with this? Yeah.
But not so fast, some say. Federal laws could end up slowing down this rapidly growing market. Major renovations regarding the Virginia Tech Engineering College are currently underway in Blacksburg. Several of Virginia Tech's engineering programs will have a new and improved home following the renovations to Holden Hall constructed in 1940. Many aspects of the engineering building were out of date, considering Virginia Tech's standards as a premier engineering college. Upon completion in 2021, Holden Hall will include a 3-story north wing and 4-story south wing. The Mining and Minerals Engineering program will be able to utilize the new center for autonomous mining and robotics. The Materials Science and Engineering program will benefit from new computational space as well as new labs with cutting-edge technology in the engineering field. Vice President of University Relations Mike Ozarski envisions the new Holden Hall as a staple to the engineering program moving forward.
Today, teaching is done a little bit differently. It creates small groups and things, so faculty will have space in which they can have small groups, students can plug in, work on their devices, and have all of the things that they need to learn and to study, and teachers will have an environment that it will enhance their teaching and learning.
The construction will cause detours to foot traffic on the academic side of campus to allow for the machinery to get in and out of the site. This affects areas such as the McBride classrooms and Turner Dining Hall area until the renovations are completed in 2021. The renovations to Holden Hall will be worth the wait as Virginia Tech is adding another state-of-the-art classroom building to its campus in Blacksburg. Let's check in with Taylor and Stefan to find out what's coming up next on the newsfeed.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in our next segment, getting your workout in at Virginia Tech is about to get a bit more complicated. Find out why coming up.
Plus, 'tis the season of giving. Find out how you can give a part of yourself to help others next.
Those stories and more are coming up on our final edition of the newsfeed.
Thanks, Taylor and Stefan. All that and more coming up next after this break.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Taylor Kelso.
And I'm Stefan Ben. Students may find McComas Gym a little more crowded than usual next semester. Newsfeed reporter Rachel McGraw joins us in the studio with more.
That's right, Stefan. We know Virginia Tech is no stranger when it comes to campus construction. Its newest project will be a War Memorial Hall renovation.
December 11th marked the beginning of an estimated 18 to 24-month closure for War due to renovations. After completion, War Memorial will house recreational sports, the School of Education, and Hokie Wellness. Among other things, the project will bring air conditioning and an updated floor plan with more room for weights and cardio.
To be right at the heart of campus in the middle, it makes exercises convenient, and it makes a statement that we believe in well-being, student well-being, and employee well-being, that we need it to be as convenient and possible for everybody. So once we committed to that being at War, then really the space needs to be quality for exercise.
To help combat the possible overcrowding at McComas, a temporary facility is being built across from Chicken Hill. For the time being, this will be the new home for many of the intramural sports teams. While many people have positive feelings about the project, one of the main concerns seem to come from freshmen who rely on the convenient location of War.
there's a lot of people in my hall and like all the halls surrounding like War that are going to be really annoyed with it because McComas is like 10 to 15-minute walk and it's getting cold and snowy. So I think everyone in this general area will be pretty annoyed.
While the gym may be a bit further for on-campus students now, improvements are also being made within McComas to help aid the transition. Plans to turn one of the basketball courts into a weight and cardio room have been made, as these are the two areas with the most foot traffic.
The renovations to War are long overdue and will help enhance student health and wellness even further. Back to you guys at the desk.
A tweet from Virginia Tech student is gaining a lot of attention on social media. With more than 25,000 retweets, it has some students questioning the concept of finals and how it affects students. The tweet says, in part, give students 1 week to relearn a semester's worth of information for 6 classes. How do you think they're going to do? Finals time is known for causing students significant amounts of stress. Many students have to balance studying, leadership positions, or jobs that can affect their mental stability. Virginia Tech is one university that attempts to prepare for this by offering events that allow students to de-stress. One event is the Finals Extravaganza, where students can take a break from studying. The purpose of the event is to ensure students develop habits to maintain good mental health.
It's also important that they take care of themselves, that they get enough sleep, that they are eating. I know during finals it might be hard to eat a balanced diet, but that they are eating. And that they're making some kind of movement.
Students were able to meditate, play with therapy dogs, and try aromatherapy. The events hope students learn to cope with the stress that described in the famous tweet.
You can plan on seeing busier streets in downtown Blacksburg. The Midtown development is underway. I went to the streets to ask local business owners how they believe this could impact the community.
Blacksburg is about to get a whole lot busier. Plans are underway for the much-anticipated Midtown development. Eagle Construction of Virginia has been hired to execute the plans of building townhomes right in the middle of downtown Blacksburg. The development will be located at the old Blacksburg Middle School property, bordered by South Main Street and E. Hart Street. Plans will cost the town nearly $1 million, but the cost will definitely pay off with the business it plans to bring in. Nearby shop owner of Sugar Magnolia says the development will make Blacksburg a destination.
If we can turn downtown into a destination in and of itself, where there's several different options where people can come, spend a whole day and have a whole lot of different things to come to, then that'll be good for all of us.
In just about a year and a half, these streets will be filled with new townhome owners as the development plans to place 100 townhomes in the area. They're also looking to add a police station and a parking garage, giving residents a unique place to shop and live.
I think it's a good idea for that specific lot downtown. It's probably one of the last main big pieces of land you can do something on. So I think it'll bring a lot of business to downtown.
Midtown says it has already attracted 150 interested buyers of the intended 300 residential units. Inviting features include a park, a garage, and short walkable blocks to shops and restaurants. Midtown developer says plans should be complete by 2021. Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Taylor Kelso.
There's been a massive spike in international students here at Virginia Tech. International student enrollment is on the up at Virginia Tech, even though other colleges and universities around the country have seen a drop. According to WSLS 10, the school has students from about 20 to 30 countries this semester. But next year, it could have students from 40 to 50 different countries. A lot of these students get help through the Cranwell International Center in Harper Hall, as it helps international undergraduates through the immigration advising. Newman Sofsoff, an international student here at Virginia Tech, offers his thoughts on the spike of international students.
I do find that kind of surprising, since I don't meet a lot of them. However, it does make me happy, especially since I'm an international student myself. You know, it shows that Tech is actually it's becoming such a big college that is attracting more and more of the international scene.
Sofsoff says that he's excited for the next 3 years at Virginia Tech and hopes that more international students keep coming.
And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, which means gifts will be given all across the nation. If you're thinking about getting a gift for a child, you may want to pay attention to how you're doing it. December is National Safe Toys and Gifts Month. The purpose is to remind parents and friends to be careful when buying gifts for young children and infants. Experts say guidelines for buying toys for kids include inspecting before buying, looking for safety labels, and making sure the toy is appropriate for a child's age.
We encourage parents who have kids of different ages to be careful what toys the older kids have and to educate the older kids about not sharing unsupervised toys with the younger kids.
Barry also says to be mindful of small toys that kids can choke on and of decorations that could have toxins in them. The American Red Cross is accepting donations for platelets. Newsfeed reporter Stephanie Campbell explains why the demand is increasing. Stephanie?
Thanks, Taylor. Hospitals are canceling surgeries due to a platelet emergency. Because of their high demand, new donors are needed every day. Platelets are the key clotting component within the human body. These tiny cells are what stop someone from bleeding out. However, every 15 seconds, someone is in need of these platelets. Whether it's a cancer patient due to chemotherapy or a patient with traumatic injuries, there is a constant need for donations. The American Red Cross accepts these donations year-round to support the continual demand, since platelets only have a shelf life of 5 days. Sophia Vermeulen, a Virginia Tech senior and platelet donor, shares her views on donating.
The U.S. actually has a really scary statistic right now where about 40% of men and women are going to be diagnosed with cancer. It's really important to give while you can. As we age, and a lot of us are diagnosed with cancer, we're going to want the same thing in return. It's going to suck if we're having a surgery, and the reason why it's unsuccessful is because no one's giving blood and no one's giving platelets, because it's such an easy thing to do.
Because of holidays and inclement weather, winter has a low donor turnout, causing a detrimental effect on the need for platelets. And although it can seem scary or uncomfortable, each donation can help save up to 3 lives. Reporting from the newsroom, I'm Stephanie Campbell. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Stephanie. And that will wrap up this edition of the News Feed. If you have a story idea for the News Feed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can also connect with the News Feed on Facebook and Twitter. On behalf of all of us at the News Feed, thank you for putting your trust in us this semester.
As we leave you, here are the names of all of the people who have worked so hard this semester to bring you the news from the New River Valley.
And we hope you will join us again in February as a new group of students work to inform you about your community. It won't be us.
It won't be us, but they'll have Jared Woolley to look after him.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Taylor Kelso.
And I'm Stephen Ben.